So I was going for lunch today and I walked past the Tesla store and I saw this. Yeah, they are advertising 5 years 0% interest for the Model 3, but the Model Y, that part right there, it says they're the number one sales best-selling car in the world, and you can compare all you want. Okay, I know the English translation sort of says despite, but that word actually also means like sort of like compare as much as you want, and that's what they're trying to say. So they got some audacity to really tell people, hey, you can compare as much as we want, man. You know, we're the big dog, basically. Wow, competition is heating up. And these are the two big challenges for NIO in 2025. Okay, so what I've noticed is that a lot of content creators here in China that focus on just Chinese language, NIO content, well, and also all sorts of content, but a lot of them have been criticizing NIO for certain things. Okay, so one of the big challenges this year is definitely battery swap interoperability. What does that mean? That means, can all these cars use battery swap? Can they use it well? A lot of these content creators here in China have been criticizing that battery swap is not what it is, okay, and that it's facing the biggest challenge ever, and that is the fact that everybody's shifting to faster charging cars, faster charging batteries, but NIO's main core brand is still stuck on 400 volt, and the upgradability aspect of the entire fleet is what they're kind of criticizing. So it's kind of difficult to move from 400 volt to 800, 900 volt, and their criticism stems from the fact that NIO brand cars right now have three batteries, three different sizes, 75, 100, and 150. And the Envo has the two sizes, 60 and 80. And then you have the ET9 with their own battery, which is not compatible with existing NIOs. So you got all these different batteries coming into the swap station. And then, of course, on top of that, there's going to be like partner cars with their battery swappable batteries as well. And those are probably going to use NIO's existing batteries, 400 volt. But their whole criticism stems from the fact that it's not really exactly upgradable. Like, you're kind of stuck on this 400 volt level, right? It's very hard. And if you start to move everything to the 900 volt, then what do you do with these 400 volt batteries, right? So that's where the criticism lies. But then, of course, here, NIO CEO, and Dr. Xin Fei, head of NIO Power, has really attacked back and really stated that no matter how fast you charge, you still have to, grab the charging handle. You still got to plug it into the car. You're still going to expose yourself to the rain. You're still going to have to be fighting for the chargers. Some people even said that, some sales reps, NIO sales reps here in China, have shared stuff such as people charging, they pulled the charger and they hit themselves, causing themselves bodily harm, that kind of stuff. And it's very, very like back and forth. There seems to be like a bunch of people are attacking battery swap, but a lot of people, NIO fans and everybody, they're defending battery swap. And even Dr. Xin Fei said, if an electric vehicle can't do battery swap, it would be better to just buy a gasoline car, because charging takes so long. They're doing these kind of attacks, and of course that's also making people upset and offended. So some people are, attacking back, saying battery swap is bad. So this year is definitely going to be a big challenge for NIO. We got to see, like, battery swap, is it actually going to work out? In my opinion, of course it's going to work out, right? But we have to see, like with all the Envo cars, it seems to be working out fine. And then Firefly will have to have its own battery swap station, which people think is absolutely dumb. I'm sure you guys might also agree with me. Like, come on, you have to deploy more individual infrastructure just for the Firefly car, right? So there's that argument going on. But then on top of that, we'll have to really see the ET9 success. Will the ET9 batteries be able to, do battery swap everywhere? will the ET9 batteries be available in all the swap stations? That's a big question. Okay, so we'll have to wait to see the answer to that, and that's going to be a big challenge. And of course, the success can be validified if you have a lot of these partner cars coming out, like Chery's car coming to market, and all these other battery swap partner cars coming to market, and they're all using NIO's battery swap. That's going to do fantastic work to go through this challenge and get NIO over this hump. And then the second challenge is, of course, profitability, right? They're targeting profitability in Q4 this year. So many content creators here in China are criticizing NIO, and their argument, and I'm sure you guys might agree with this, stuff like cancel NIO houses. And the crazy thing is, like, and they're also arguing for like the merger of NIO and Onvo. Like Onvo should never have been its own brand. It should have just been NIO and NIO ES3, so to speak. And that's going to sell much better than right now. You're going to have more sales and less expenses. And their argument is the fact that right now you have to have an Onvo store, you have to have a NIO store. Sometimes the Onvo store is right next to the NIO store, which is actually the case near where I live. The Onvo store is very close to the NIO store, and in many places, the Onvo store is very close to the NIO stores. So you got to pay ×2 in rent and ×2 in staff salary, whereas you could have just had the car inside the NIO store, and it would just be like, you don't have that double in expenses, right? And you have these NIO houses, and a lot of these people are arguing that you have these NIO houses, but sometimes they're empty. And they're arguing that most NIO owners don't go there, like, not even once in a year. Like, I'm not too sure about that statistic, but I go to NIO houses pretty often, maybe like once every few weeks, right? And they're arguing that they should be closed or at least open to everybody, right? And I think right now they're opening to everybody, and with the cost-saving measures that NIO is doing right now, because they're trying to, cut costs, right? They're doing those cost-saving measures, firing 10% of staff and everything. They got to really see how much of the expenses actually comes from NIO houses, the rent on the NIO houses. Some of them are absolutely massive. And then on top of that, next to it, you have an Onvo store, right? You could have just placed the Onvo car inside the NIO house, right? But of course, they had to do things differently. So there's the stem of the criticism that a lot of people have been saying. And I'm sure some of you guys may share the same criticism. Just have Onvo be a NIO. It would sell a lot better. There's no need for renting 2 different stores, one NIO, one Onvo. Just have the car inside the NIO store. People have been arguing for this. But of course, we'll have to see how they handle all these cost savings, and will they be able to achieve profitability at the end of this year. I think these expenses, right, it already is what it is, okay? You can't rewind time and change things. Everything is already done the way it is. It's too late right now to change it. But profitability really hinders on getting a lot of cars sold. And we'll have to see going throughout this year how many cars will they be able to sell with the new 2025 versions, and of course with Firefly. So fingers crossed that they can sell a lot of cars. All right. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.